But the healing that I'm going to share with you tonight goes way back to when I was a baby Christian. And it was in the 70s, a long time ago. But the reason I share that testimony, I could share many. The reason I share that testimony is because it was so foundational for me in the truths that the Lord cemented deep within me in my journey in life. And Brandon had mentioned Derek Prince. And, well, let me back up. Okay, so I was a young believer. I had a few warts on my body that through shaving, warts are a virus, and through shaving, I ended up with hundreds of warts all over my body. Someone told me, this was my step one. Someone told me, take mega doses of niacin and it'll flush them out of your system. Okay, I did. It was like a rush, like a hot rush, you know. Okay, didn't do the trick, okay. And after that, I actually went to a dermatologist. And they decided that they were going to put me in Northside Hospital under anesthesia and burn them all away, which they did. They came back. And so at that point, I finally got wise to the situation. I had read Derek Prince's testimony on healing, and I have not read it since the 70s. So I'm just going by what I remember from having read, and I do remember him saying that he looked up every single scripture on healing in the Word, and the Word says, your word does good like medicine. And so he applied, just like Brandon said, he was applying that word to what I think they said was an incurable skin disease that he had contracted in the desert. So I had read his testimony. And I was very impressed also by his method of speaking the word out over his body. I think that was part of his testimony. It's definitely part of mine. So I started 2 scriptures in particular that the Lord led me to speak out and actually look at those warts. I remember on my hands, you know, just speaking at the warts, you know, who his own self in his own body, 2 Peter 2:24, who his own self in his own body on the tree took our sin, that we being dead to sin should live to righteousness, by whose wounds you were healed. The other scripture that the Lord gave me personally was actually Galatians 3:13, and it says, Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law being made a curse for us. So I would just look at them and I would tell them that they were a curse and just to get out of my body and leave me alone and go away. And in about a 2-month period of just doing this daily, about twice a day, actually speaking the word over these warts, before my eyes, you know, they just started leveling off completely until they were completely gone. No more warts.